Okay, quickly we're going to string the bells together. String a bell together. So hopefully you've made a hole in the top of your bell and also in the top of your stop, or through the stop. Holes big enough that you can run your ribbon through these. This is a 1/4 inch ribbon, so hopefully the holes are big enough for that. It will make a difference in how you put them together. Okay, so we've got a stop, we've got a length of ribbon, and I'm going to call this length at about 1 foot long because I want to be able to tie it off at the end and have a little bit of length left over. So I need to get it through the stopper, and if you can't just poke your ribbon through there, something that you can make out of wire or plastic or various materials. It's got to be a little bit stiff. You use it as a threader. So I'm using a little bit of thin copper wire because it's bendable, but it's stiff enough to go through the hole in the stop. And then I thread my ribbon through that. And then I pull the ribbon through the stop. And just one end of it. And then I thread the ribbon through the threader. So the stop, the ribbon through the threader, and then I'm going to try and thread the ribbon through the top of the bell. So the threader goes through the holes in the bell. Hold on to the stopper, and then I can see this is going to be a tight fit. In fact, I need to put one ribbon through at a time, or one side of the ribbon through at a time. So I've got the threader on, just one side of the ribbon through. Whoops, it came out of the top of the bell. I'm now threading the threader through the hole in the bell. Pull that one side through. And I can tell, again, this is going to be a tight fit. Now I'm going to thread the threader through the top of the bell and go get my other length of ribbon. Leave that through. And now hopefully I'll be able to pull it through. Not working as easily as the first. So again, that's coming through. Just case in point that you want to make the holes big enough in the top of your bell. Especially if you want any ribbon thicker than this, which I could imagine having a nice big fat ribbon. So I'm pulling my stopper down. I want to even up the two ribbons before I get too far along. Okay, so I'm leaving the stop down low because I still need to wire my clapper onto that. So here's the clapper. And first I'm going to take a little bit of, this is, I don't know if you can even see it on here, 20-pound fishing line. It's just about the right stiffness, the right thickness. You want your little clapper to be able to move freely. You don't want anything too stiff. It'll sort of keep it from ringing nicely. So I'm just going to tie this a few times. I usually do it many times through the top here. Tie a fair number of knots. I don't want this coming undone. Okay, and then I'm threading it through the stop, And if you can't just push the wire through, then you'll need to get the wire threader again and do the same thing that you did before. So again, I'm not sure you can even see what I'm doing because this thread is fairly transparent, this fishing line. Now, at this point, you have to decide where your clapper is going to fall on basically on the hem of the bell. And each bell seems to make the shape of the bell and maybe the thickness of the bell make a difference as to where you want the clapper. So you have to experiment. So I'm not tying anything, securing anything yet. That seems pretty nice, where that's falling there. Often, if the middle of the clapper hits the hem of the bell, it seems like a fairly nice position for that. So you can see it's sort of moving freely at this point. Well, the stopper is up in the top there. It's all the way secured to the top, so I want to keep this thickness. So I'm going to try to pull it down, keeping the same distance between the stop and the clapper. And now I'm going to try to tie a knot and keep the same length between the stop and the clapper. Sometimes you have to try a few times, but just tie a few knots here and maybe tie a couple knots and test it out and see if it's still in the right spot. Now you see it's kind of seems to be a little bit higher, so you can give it a little bit of a pull, maybe that'll loosen that up. But it sounded nice even though it was up a little taller. Okay, and just tie it off and tie a bunch of knots in there. One more. Gosh. Okay, and then clip off your excess and pull it up in there. Test it out again. Tie a knot up here so that you can hang it. And I really suspect you can see a lot of variations on the way I did this. I think the keys are hole is big enough in the stop and in the stop, or in the top and in the stop, and that you probably need little help threading things. So a stiff wire, or someone suggested one of those flossing tools that helps you thread floss through your teeth. I think it's plastic. And then getting a wire, or a string that's not too stiff here. Again, 20-pound test seemed like a fairly good weight. And then just trying to get it to the right height. And it's really nice to be able to pull this down to be able to work on getting that tied. Okay? And you could use something other than ribbon. You could use wire for this part, or I don't know, string, strong string. Again, this would be an indoor bell just because ribbon isn't going to hold up very well outdoors, but you could use some things that are a lot more durable and can be outside. And that's it. Okay, good luck.